Number 15. Alright, the last video I told you that we had one that was out of order that we were going to replace it with. This is not it. I don't know what happened to that video. We've got two videos on YouTube that I didn't know we had, and then we've got one that I thought we had that we don't have. As Tom Snyder used to say, as the pictures go flying through the air, something has happened here, or the Twilight Zone took them something. I hope it doesn't upset the time and space continuum and throw us haphazard into a parallel universe when all that happens. I hate it when that happens. But regardless, we have the chassis off of the jig. This is kind of an awkward angle of it, but as I turned it over to grind a few glue spots, I thought this was kind of a cool angle, and I wanted to do this video with it up on its side, and then tomorrow we'll turn it over flat and do another video. Got kind of a Star Trek, Starship Enterprise thing going on down here with the frame rails, and it was just kind of a cool angle to be able to see some things that I had never seen before on this. This thing is all glued up. Every joint's glued here. We're ready for the lizard skin and the final overcoat of that. I've learned quite a bit on this glue process. A lot of techniques, a lot of procedures, a lot of lessons. I guess the biggest thing that I have learned on that is to keep that glue out of your hair. I'd said earlier that I thought it was 6.5 hours to, 7 hours to put this thing together. Turns out I can do it in 6.5, but that 6.5 needs to be spread out over about 5 days. What happens is you need to glue a few pieces together, and then they're a building block for the next piece. But if you start gluing the next piece up without it hardening, then it moves that piece, and you can't do that. So you've got to kind of build a block at a time and then build on that. And it's a 90-minute dry time, but I was letting it dry overnight. But that 6.5 hours stretched into 5 days. But regardless, I am extremely pleased with the way it's come out. I'll show you a couple of things here. This is our utility, I call it the utility tunnel under here. This air conditioner lines, heater lines, radiator lines run under here to connect the front to the back of the car. The floor pans, the dog bones here that all the pieces fit in. I want to show you something that I think is just absolutely phenomenal. 87 and 1/32. 87 and 1/32. Not even a shy or full 1/32. I mean 1/32. It's within a few thousandths of an inch. Watch this. Just incredible. Just amazing. You can do that with this bottom frame rail. You can do it across here, anywhere you want to go. It is just absolutely within a few thousandths of an inch. Just amazing to me. Show you something down here. Speaking of the Star Trek looking thing here, that's actually the motor bay. Front motor mount, rear motor mount. You see a great big hole here. That engine will slide right up. You can take it out the top, but the engine and transaxle will come out the bottom of this thing just as easy. You can see the dummy block that I used to locate the mounts is here, still here on the motor hoist. The front plate, the rear plate. This front mount is located, this piece, that locates that motor mount in all three planes. Once I had that, then I put the plates on the motor, set it in, bolted that motor plate to that, and then bolted these to the rear motor plate. And that way the engine, perfectly where it wants to be, sets this piece right here in all three planes. Again, so everything is absolutely right. The motor fits well. Everything is way, way good. Super happy with it. Shock mount up here where it's real easy to see. Talk just a little bit about shock mounts. First thing, these are the two rear shock mounts on either side. This is how I jigged it up to get this absolutely straight. There's a piece in here, goes in here, bolt goes through. There's a spacer in here, goes in like so. Once that's in and tightened down, it sets all of this in all three planes. I want to talk about this shock mount a little bit. It is a commonly misunderstood piece. When you bolt a shock in, or for that matter a suspension piece as anything else, if it's a solid piece and it goes down in here, this distance has got to be absolutely perfect. Otherwise, it's got slop in it and it's bouncing around. It's too tight. You got to pry them out and stick it through. Once you've done that, the bolt holes don't line up, so forth. This is the way we do it on all the race cars. This is a misunderstood but very cool way to mount suspension pieces. You see I've got a 1/2 inch hole here and a 3/4 inch hole here. When this goes in, and I've got a rod end type bushing on the shock, this goes in here, goes in here. Oh well, I don't need that for the demonstration. Goes in here. Now, this is a 3/4 inch bushing. Goes in there like that. That squeezes together, bolt goes on here. That squeezes it together. This is properly aligned, properly located. There's no stress on the rod end itself. It's supported on both sides, and it's a self-adjusting deal. It sets this dimension exactly. Same way down here, these are A&A brand, A&A manufacturing brand shock mounts. Same thing, same idea, same principle here. See what happens here? See the big hole, the little hole? Goes in like so. Bolt goes through here. Spacer bushing here, that's the big one. Goes like so. That goes to there. This is actually hitting the spacer bushing, not the bracket. These brackets will be welded onto our tubular A-arms. Same thing with the bottom brackets. A&A Manufacturing, I know I've mentioned it before, but they have hundreds of handy little brackets. This bin over here is full of their pieces and parts. It's a whole lot easier to find a piece for $1 or $2 from them than it is to start from scratch engineering a lot of that stuff. We're off the jig, gonna turn it over. I sold my little scrap pile today, got 52 whole dollars for it. I have clean shirts, and here in the next day or two we'll turn this thing on the jack stands and shoot another video talking about the rest of the chassis. I think that's it for today.